Alright guys, welcome back. I say it every time because I mean it. I'm terrible with filming. Yesterday I kind of had one of those days where I needed to see some action. I needed to see a big change. I mean, like just losing some wind in my sails kind of sucks. It's a big project, but I don't know if y'all can see, the lift's all the way down. The ramps are on the lift. That means I brought it outside for the first time. First time ever. It has rolled on its own wheels outside. I took some pictures. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in there now so you can see. And this is, it looks the exact way that I dreamed it would look, you know, sitting outside on the ground, and it is amazing to say the least. But now that I got out of my system, I'm fired up. I had some Maven mounts, but they were large frame. Okay. These are not for large frame, these are for mid frame. So let me kind of educate you a little bit because I had to learn the hard way. So we had GT55 journal bearing turbos, okay? Force Inductions want to come on board. I'm like, great, I've already bought your turbos. What do you want to do? They took them back, and I still have GT55, 94102, same stuff, but they sent me ball bearing GT55s. Fun fact, not all GT55s are the same. The ball bearings will take this flange, where the journal bearings will take the large frame Pro Mod size flange. Luckily my guys over at Monkey Fab had some on the shelf. It's only 1 day shipping from where I live, and that worked out great. So I have them here. I have already sat there and made sure they bolt up on the turbos. I went and got some hardware, and yeah, let's get these on the turbos and set them on the truck. Let's see how this goes. Maybe we get some turbos mounted, and I got Yellow Bullet playing on the TV in the background of the shop. So talk about racing today. Alright, let me turn the volume down. Still got the Yellow Bullet Nationals playing. You hear my boy Bear Green in the background. He's doing the announcing. But, so we're working on mounting these turbos. I don't have a laser level. I'm probably about to just run the Harbor Freight real quick so we can make sure. But I'm going to see if I can sneak a phone in here. You see the little mount? So it's just they're just kind of resting in there right now. Kind of hard to show you, but you get what I'm doing. I'm just going to do a mount off the one side because the exhaust and everything else is going to help support it too. And I think just one 065 tube going to it should be more than sufficient. I think it'll hold it. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it over time. But I see a lot of people run just one leg to the Maven mount, and it works fine. So that's what we're gonna do. But that's what we're working on. So I'm probably gonna go to Harbor Freight real quick and get a laser level. That way I can set it up and make sure before I burn these in, because it is metal. You can repair it, but I'd rather weld it once type of deal. And then I'm gonna see if I can use my PVC trick to make the trim ring for the grill, to cut the holes in the grill, so we can kind of get these set where they go. But need some tools. Need a laser level. I don't know why I haven't bought one sooner. I've been using plumb bobs and digital angle finders and all that stuff forever now, and a laser level
would have come in a lot of useful situations by now. So we're just gonna pick one up. It's Labor Day. They got them on sale. Let's go scoop one up. See if it'll help us get these going. My goal is to get these sitting on their own so I can take this engine hoist out of here and they'll be sitting where they should go. So, all right, let's go get a laser level. All right, guys, I'm trying to remember the video. I'm a Harley on the way. Laser level, didn't make it to Harbor Freight. I was across town, they were closing. I wanted to pick something up tonight. Looked online, Lowe's had a little Labor Day sale. I got this for about the same price as I would have paid at Harbor Freight anyway. And so I'll show you. This way it's going to help. Because what's going to have to happen is I'm going to level this with the mounts as they sit now. And I'm going to take the turbos off and I'll use the laser to align the mount where I want. And then I'll tack together and I'll set the turbos back on them and see how they fit. When you kind of get to a point like this, I'll tell you all this. This is where you find out if your measurements are good or not. You're finding out if the truck is square or not. And I measured 8 billion times. So far, everything's looking pretty good. But man, I can tell you if I would have been careless with some things and stuff like that, it would be shining right now. It would be showing its ass. So yeah, we're gonna see. Yeah, let's see how this works out. Let's see what's up. I'm probably gonna tomorrow weld these in. It's in a little late tonight, but I have what I need. That way I don't have to get up in the morning to go get anything. I can just come to the shop and try and knock out a little bit of work. And that's the plan. So the plan that I just told you on might not be the plan that I do tomorrow. I don't know, but I'll show you if I change. But anyway, all right, just kind of want to show y'all. This is a Klein level finder. It's got the cross pattern in it. I think it was 54 bucks. Harbor Freight were like 59, I think. So about the same price. Can't complain too much. And I just mounted it to my phone stand that I normally use to hold my phone. The screw fits, and so I didn't have to buy a stand. So this is gonna kind of work out good. But anyway, well, all right, y'all. Let's see how this goes. All right. Another day, another dollar. Whatever they say. So I come out here. You haven't tried that? Probably should. Anyway, come out here to mount these turbos. And I started kind of looking at the front end. I have my pieces made. You can see my laser marks. That's a Rhodes core support. I'm kind of manipulating and cutting up. I'm like, something just doesn't seem right. So I'm kind of eyeballing the fender situation and stuff, and they just don't seem square. So I said, okay, let me grab the hood off the shelf. Let's see if I'm crazy. So don't get me wrong, it's just sitting on tape here, okay? That's what I'm gonna call fairly tight, whatever, I'm not mad at it. Let me walk to this side. Now look at this. That's a gap. That's a big gap. So either I have the fender sticking far too far out on this side, which it can come in a tad, okay? I do need to adjust that. I kind of knew that. But even the front part here, which you can't see because it's clamped in a way. Watch. Hold on, let me pop this clamp, please. I'll show you. Even the body lines aren't really perfect. That's kind of annoying. Is a factory S10 perfect? Probably not. The fiberglass part's going to be perfect? Probably not.
But now I'm caught in a rock in a hard place because the front end don't seem that right. And if you have one handmade piece to go in a factory location, sure, you can get away with it. But when you start assembling 5 homemade pieces, handmade pieces, all made at separate times, to make one piece deal, that's where a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit here adds up to being a pretty big problem, which I feel is where that's coming from. I wish this was a one-piece deal. I really do, y'all. And this sucker's heavy. I ain't even gonna sit here and lie to you. These parts are made, they're quality, okay? They're made very well. And they're heavy. Like, let me tell you what, they are heavy. So, I want to mount the turbos. I'm just not sure about the front end situation right now. I'm pretty torn on it, to be honest with you. I really got to figure something out. I really got to figure something out with this. So, just kind of want to update you. I'll show you all the good, the bad, the middle, the in between. This is where we're at right now with this. The fit up is just not that great. I could be doing something wrong. I don't know. But I'm gonna simmer on this a little bit, see if we can come with some sort of plan. Unless a one-piece front end just falls in my front yard soon, which it won't. So I'm gonna play with this a little bit. I just kind of want to show you where we're at with it. That's why the turbos are not in there. I already cut my pieces and I had them squared up, and in the with the K member and level and do this and don't do that. And every time I put the front grille on to try and see if the front end is square, it just didn't seem exactly right. So that's why I grabbed the hood and followed my gut feeling. It's not. So let's see if we can get this thing figured out. All right. Here's the deal. I have a company that wants to make a one-piece fiberglass front end. Okay. My major complaint with one-piece front ends were 2 things. 1, most of them are crap. 2, I wanted like a true one-piece, like the hood doesn't come off, like you take the front clip off as a whole. And 3, and probably the most important thing to me, was that I couldn't stand the Chevy grill. Like, everyone that's made is a Chevy grill, not a single one is ever a GMC. So this company, which I'm not going to release names of yet or anything because I don't have it in my hands. I don't know if it'll actually come to light. I don't know yet. I don't really have a whole bunch of information, but he wants to make, he has a one-piece mold. He wants to do a V-nose, okay, which gives me 3 inches at the center more forward so we can fit the turbos a little easier. But he said he would do it with the GMC front grille. Now that has my attention, okay. As far as headlights, will I put some in it or not? I'm not sure. That's to be determined. But here's the deal. I weighed the hood, the front plastic grille, and the bumper alone, and that was 29 pounds. So once we factor in this core support at another 10 pounds and each one of those fenders, I guarantee you we're over 50 pounds. I guarantee you this front clip is about 55 pounds without even having hardware on it. That's a lot, okay? We have a lot going on up here. We have a lot of weight. This is just not one of them areas that we need to deal with that. The one-piece front end, it's all molded together, so it comes on and off as a whole. Where on this deal is every piece is meant for a factory replacement, okay? They're all made at separate times, which means they're not 100% perfect, and they are designed to, have a little gap between the hood and the fender and stuff for body lines. So as far as me wanting to fiberglass it, I can't take it off the truck and even fiberglass it as one piece because I have no way to hold it in the exact form that I need. So I'm in a rock and a hard place. This company said they want to do it. They said about 5 weeks. Do I want to wait 5 weeks? No. Do I know what else to do right now? No. If I mount the turbos now, I could be shooting myself in the foot, because if I get the front end and I put it on the truck, I could have, you know, this much more room forward. I could have moved the turbos, and that makes a world of difference when you're trying to squeeze 4.5-inch downpipes and wastegates and everything else in here. So, and fuel cells. So I don't know. I think I'm just gonna sit on standby for a minute, hold off on the turbos, and we're gonna do some other things that I need to do, because there's still tons of stuff to do. Y'all know that my breathers are going through the upper frame rail, which we talked about a long time ago whenever I did it. The fittings are already welded on the motor side here. I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can show you. You kind of look down there, you see the green tape. That's covering the fitting. And so it'll go through the upper frame rails. And it's gonna be something like this, okay? We'll tie it in. It'll have a fitting on this side, and then we will run a hose through the center to the center of the back here, where I will build a puke tank from scratch. So that's kind of what we're working on. It's kind of where we're at. I'm sorry this video didn't end off with having turbos mounted. Trust me, that's really what I wanted. I was pumped up after rolling the truck outside for the first time, seeing what it looked like, getting my hopes all up. Just to get it in here. And when I started hanging the turbos, the front end just didn't look right to me, so I set the hood on it, and sure enough, my suspicion was kind of answered. It just isn't fitting great. So we're gonna see what's gonna come of this front end deal, because essentially I want it to look like that truck, GMC front end, but all together one piece, because the front end's gonna come off in between rounds anyway. It makes it easy to service, cool everything off. Like, this is a tool. We are building this to do just that, put in work. It is a tool. It is not a street car. Those days are not even in the books for this thing. All the parts and components on here are way too expensive to risk it on the street, and you know, it's way too low to the ground in the first place. So I don't know about where y'all live, but where we live, you ain't driving anything really low on the ground unless you want to just total it out. So we're gonna hold off on this for a minute, and we're gonna start knocking out all these odds and end pieces right here. So yeah, we're gonna end it off there. Sorry, I was hoping to have them hung and be showing you that and all that stuff, and I've been beating my head on the wall for a day now. I think the best thing is, and this isn't a knock on Racer's Edge, that's whose parts these are. They are made very well, and I would trust these on a street car, and that's what they're made. They're factory replacement panels on a street driven car, so they're built heavy duty, they're strong, all that stuff. But for what I'm trying to do, it's kind of hard. And I've asked Ricky multiple times if he would make a one-piece front clip, and he's not interested in doing that right now, and I understand. I know it's a pain in the ass, and they're big, so it is what it is. We're gonna try and make something work, but I'm gonna end it off here. As always, thank y'all for following, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing. We rolled over 15K on Facebook. We're trucking well over 3,000 on YouTube. I'm pretty excited for it. I think y'all are getting excited too. That's why everybody's jumping on board, because you're seeing it look pretty close to a finished product, so to say. So we still have tons of work to do, but until then, thank y'all.